Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. Tuesday, when the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time. Just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance. If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, honey? Is you snowed in? Did it snow in Texas at all?
I don't think it snowed, but I wasn't here. I was at Creating Change. I was in DC.
Okay. How was Creating Change conference?
Oh God. It was you can tell that it was in DC this year because about what I saw, it was only probably like a fourth of what it normally is.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people did not come.
A lot of people did not come. Yeah, I think DC was a bad choice because, you know, we got a lot of immigrant in our community. We got a lot of Black folks. We got a lot of people, queer people that don't feel safe with this administration. And for them to pick DC, it just felt kind of tone deaf. But then the way they explained it, I get it, and it sounds good. But
why did they explain it?
Why or how did
why did they choose DC as the whole city this year?
So it was already chosen. It had already been chosen. They didn't want to do it, but it was chosen a while ago, where you had enough time to undo it. And basically, this is how they sold it. Kiera on during her speech was saying that we go where our people are, and there's tons of people who are queer in DC, which is true in the DMV area,
right?
And we've been around for 50 years. We've been around for a long time, and we're not about to let this administration stop us from going anywhere. We deserve to be in all spaces. We deserve to be wherever we are, and especially in the capital of the United States.
It's only but so much change you're going to be able to create from behind bars.
So
if you get snatched up being in DC, but
I think there's a privilege to that. Like, it's still, I think it's still, it doesn't mean you don't have it. I just don't feel like you should have it in DC when they have the National Guards walking around residential neighborhoods. They've always been walking around like the government buildings and the monument. They always there. But when we see them with their guns in the residential areas of DC, I never saw them like walking down the street. It was like groups of 4 of them walking down, in DuPont Circle and in these places that they normally weren't at. Anytime I've been there, I never saw them there. I saw them usually around the government buildings. And so I just thought it was kind of like, I get it, but then I don't get it. And clearly, motherfuckers was like, nah, we ain't about to come to DC.
Right.
we're not accustomed to having no National Guards walking around the city of DC. No, that is not the norm.
Then on top of that, there was like this swirling rumor that they were going to cancel it for next year. Like it was everybody was like, we think that they're gonna, because of the political climate, there's talks that they're gonna cancel it for next year. And I was like, while I was sitting, this is the whole time, this whole week that people been kind of whispering it, this is what the staff is saying, and it's in behind closed doors. It's a secret, it's a rumor mill. And I'm like, first of all, I don't believe this because this is a 50-year-old institution. And if they didn't close for fucking COVID and stop for COVID, I feel like this little bullshit. This ain't the first time we had a Trump presidency. I know it's a little hotter now, but it just doesn't feel like this is something that would end this legacy of this conference happening. This is one of the biggest conferences of LGBT focus in the country. It just doesn't feel like this would be something that would stop it. So I kept saying, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe that is happening. And so people were like, girl, da 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 da. And I was like, I think y'all just falling for the shit talking because y'all are seeing this low turnout. But we know why the low turnout is. So like I don't think it's they running out of money, and they're running out of because people are not supporting, and people are not supporting LGBT stuff. And I'm like,
well, this is the time. The time is now, motherfucker. This is what these institutions are supposed to be put in place for, honey. This is time to get ramped up, not time to slow the fuck down, honey. When the crowd ain't responding, honey, then you do more to reach more of a crowd. You do to reach a different crowd. You realize that it's something wrong with your PR, your marketing, or something, bitch. They better stop playing in our motherfucking face.
Diamond did say the money, the funders that fund it, that fund the conference, that fund the staff, that fund the work. That's the key word is the funders, not the organization.
Yes.
It's the money that keeps that organization going is drying up in ways that it probably hasn't before. I think that's the issue.
Even if it got to be 10 motherfuckers in somebody's basement, honey, you can still call it creating motherfucking change.
I mean, the task force was definitely, when it started,
grassroots.
You know, more grassroots and a more progressive institution than the Human Rights Campaign or HRC. I don't know if you would say that today in the same way. I mean, I think you could still say that.
I think you can still say it.
You can still say that. Let me back up. You can still say that, but I don't think you can say it in the same way you might have said it a while ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's grassroots.
Because the whole nonprofit industrial complex became hyper corporatized in a way that it never had been before after Obama for all kinds of issue-based organizations, not just, LGBT-based, but that's interesting. But I don't see them canceling the conference, though. I don't see that.
So if it's a money issue, if that was, I'm going to tell y'all what ended up happening. But right now, because y'all going in the conversation that I wanted y'all to go, I think you are totally right, Bree and Jay. I think that you just go back to your fucking roots. Prides, conferences, we all started with no fucking money. We all started with no money. You just gotta be transparent and scale down if you got to do it. That's just what it is. If you gotta scale down, that's what it is.
Yeah,
but you got to be transparent so people can know what's going on. But the problem is when you get to a big level, like you're the number one or the biggest one, you try to stay grand. You try to stay grand and don't want to scale down. But I'm just one of them people that feel like, yo, if you got to go back to, honey, one room.
Like, listen, I'm here for less galas and more grassroots. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that that expectation gets, it becomes about that. Awards and this and that, not just with the task force, but just in general. We kind of went through a little era where a lot of stuff was more about, spending money for a lot of people. And that's showing that you're showing up for me versus the grassroots. So like, yeah, I'm here for it. Like the people matter most, and then we'll figure it out. If people got to sleep at people's houses, sleep, that's what people do still to go to the conference. And that's what way more people used to do. I'm saying, back in the day, so yeah.
You said you tired, honey. I'm tired of humans in general being so prideful that they get in their own motherfucking way, honey. We done lost a lot of greatness in humanity because of pride and ego. Stop
Mhm.
playing in our motherfucking face, honey. This is charity, honey. This is organization. This is social justice. This is not the place to be concerned about image, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Is there a concern too, just like, because the money's not just drying up for them, right? It's like LGBT nonprofit type money, period, right? Is drying up. And most of a lot of a good, trying to say choose my words wisely. I think, I think still the majority of work that happens in our community happens for people off the clock or for free. But I think way more people were doing work off the clock or for free that were going in a way before all this money was supporting various organizations to help, all of us to do work that just wasn't there before. Before it was, you saw the blow up in money and equality this, equality that in the early 2000s. And then later, we saw more money come towards trans folks. Honestly, it's just, I think I think it just might be an ebb and flow. And we'll get through this point and see what it looks like on the other side of that. Because like you said, like all of the work that is getting done, with the exception of a couple things, like is about the work that's grassroots work, right? Around reaching people, building community, building capacity, so we can change policy, whether that's on our statewide level, locally, through your schools, your institutions, or what we dealing with the federal government. Like that's what a lot of their work is about. The work that people, the work that's done for folks coming to the conference. So
So
we'll
I
figure it out.
Yeah, I think they're and I think they'll figure it out. We as a community,
Yeah,
and they will too, as an entity that I really think is powerful and is important to our community. I
yeah,
think creating change there's a lot of careers that have started at creating change. There's a lot of small movements that started creating change. There's a lot of learning that I do
absolutely.
when I'm there. I learn a lot, especially if you actually go and participate and you ain't running around trying to be cute. But I'm gonna be trying to be cute and learn
But
while
look,
I'm there.
look, before BTech was started, like creating change was home. You know what I'm saying? Before you had this other option around, I'm not, around a Black trans advocacy type conference, it was creating change for a lot of people. That is the place where
Or
you
what is
got to
it?
see.
Southern Comfort.
Yeah, but I'm saying because it was national, right? You had
Yeah.
Southern Comfort, you had Midwest LGBT Conference, you had a whole bunch of different stuff that you had going around. But
Yeah.
creating change was that one time a year where everybody could kind of come together. And I think particularly for trans folks too, it was like, okay, we get the chance to come together,
Yeah.
So, it definitely, you know, not the West nostalgic, but I'll definitely speak for myself. Like it definitely was like continues to be and was like you said, very influential and like makes a difference because it's food for the soul
Yeah.
to continue to work when you leave, and see what other people are doing, learning from each other, because we're all kind of out here in our various locations doing the work. Whether you're in a large city, there's still a level of isolation to a certain extent around, being like, this is the work that I'm committed on doing in the community and getting a chance to like meet other people facing similar challenges, similar victories, sharing strategies. That's important. That's important. And being able to kick it and laugh and all that. Kiki.
So we definitely did that, and by the end, what they always do every year is the farewell day, which is usually Sunday. It's like a half a day. You just go and they feed everybody 12 o'clock, 11, 12 to I think it's like 11 to 1, and they say farewell. They say thank you, and then at the end they announce the next city, what's going to be
Right.
next city. So since the rumor mill was all everybody is like,
Yeah.
what? Because are they going to cancel or are they going to pick another city? That's what you're waiting on because everybody is buzzing. So apparently, so at first in my brain, I thought the whole rumor of it not being a new city was just a lie. People were just saying, just spreading like telephone, da 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 da. But apparently, that was not true. That was going to be the plan. But at the last 2 days with different shit going on and people having different conversations behind the scene, because it was a lot of shit going on and people
that sound like creating change.
Yeah, it was a lot of shit going on and people kind of donating and doing certain things, networking because of the rumor mill and because of what was going on and the stress of that and people saying that the money has dried up and and it shifted. And by the end, they changed their mind and announced that next year it will be in Louisville, Kentucky.
Wow. Okay.
Kentucky.
Come on, Andy Bashir.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. They have a Democratic governor. Okay.
They have a Democratic governor.
Yeah. That's what's up.
And not just that, I'm from Indianapolis, which is an hour away from Louisville. Louisville has a strong queer community and
and progressive traditions.
Clubs. It's a lot of Black folks there. A lot of you gotta understand that's right across the Ohio River, or right there at the whole Ohio River. And so my migration, honey, they went right there.
I know queers who moved out of Kentucky because it was too racist and too queer phobic.
From Louisville.
I've never been. Yeah, Kitty Balenciaga, I believe, is from Louisville, either the city or the outskirts. I've never heard anything good about Kentucky from Black people or queer people. So maybe it's one of them things I would have to see for myself. But I've never even considered.
Yeah,
that's interesting though.
For Kentucky Derby, Black people always been there.
Yeah.
Derby. We will always go there for even they have a theme park called Kentucky Kingdom. We will always go there too. The queer club Connections was fire. We will always
Connections.
Yeah, it was fire.
That's what's up. I was just thinking about the governor too, just because you're not necessarily gonna be in cahoots.
Yeah,
in the way that in Tennessee or Texas, no offense, Texas, a Republican governor is gonna be like, do whatever you feel like, Donald Trump, or Orange Dude, in a way that, Andy Bashir got a little fire.
So and I think that's helpful. So do they have a Republican governor in Minnesota?
No, Kentucky has a Democratic governor.
No, I'm asking what kind of governor they got in Minnesota, because that ain't stopping
Democrat
white people.
Well, that's the reason they definitely talked about that too at Creating Change. They brought a bunch of Minnesota people up and talked, even Andrea Jenkins, and really just giving us she was giving us like the 411 of actually what's happening on the ground and explaining that there's a reason why they picked Minnesota. There's a reason why. Right. The reason why is because this is like one of those places that's unique, and they want to use them as an example.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Twin Cities. It's two smaller cities, and so the jurisdictions aren't as big as people think. It's not as if you're talking about one city, because a lot of people think Twin Cities, okay, it might have total together a population of whatever, 500, 600 something thousand people, 700, but you split that up, you're talking about, it's like Oakland. You got a city that's like 300,000 people in Minneapolis, and then another city that's about 300,000 people or so in St. Paul.
I'm not understanding what they got to do.
What it has to do with it is easier to.
Why did they choose Minnesota?
Well, I'm about to get to it. I'm about to get to it. Like some of it also is like it's easier to exploit a smaller jurisdiction. It's a college town. It's like you said, the white folks are very active. It's a majority. Remember I said, I've been saying it. I said, Orange Dude, know what cities to roll through. I said, these majority white, progressive kind of major cities. There's only about 5 of them.
Cities to roll through. That motherfucker always knew what to do.
Bree. There's about 5 major U.S. cities that are majority white and super like progressive, crunchy. We always in the streets. That's Seattle, the Twin Cities, San Francisco, and like a Denver, Portland. That's not it. That's not most American cities that are over 500,000 people.
Right.
Most American cities that are over 500,000 people are not majority white. They're not 67% white, 65% white. And
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They just
yeah,
not.
they're usually more diverse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
those cities
this
that
one is not.
are more react organizing kind of activisty, we in the streets type
So
cities.
I'm still not understanding why would this city target it? I understand the fact that it's a smaller jurisdiction, so y'all saying it's like easier to get over on people in a smaller
To use
No,
this
no,
jurisdiction.
as
no.
an
They got
example.
3,000 ICE agents with and they city only got a police force of 600 people.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
they can't pull that shit in Chicago like that. They can't pull that shit in
Oh,
LA like that.
smaller numbers are easier to control. Common sense, Bree.
No, you
Common.
Right.
good.
They have, and with the National Guard, like Jay just said, which is what she said on the stage, they have brought so many troops into
Yeah.
their place that outnumber even their whole state when it comes to their police force.
Yeah, so
So
it's like
they
30K, y'all
couldn't do
say.
that in California. They couldn't do that
Right.
other places. They couldn't do that.
Can't do that in New York the same kind of way.
Right.
In a city that's over a million something people, and
You think it
and
would
they
have
police force got it's huge.
you think it would have been more pushback in a city like New York?
Of
There
course.
was more pushback in the city.
Yeah.
Like they
It
kicked them
wouldn't
out
even
of there.
happen.
People was whooping that
Oh
ass.
yeah, they
That's
did.
right.
It wouldn't
Remember they
even
went to
happen.
Chicago. They went to LA. Right.
Yeah, they
And
can't.
and people
We
don't play
kicked
that
them
shit
out
out
of
there.
DC too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
It's a
wasn't
different vibe.
totally different vibe. They can play with them.
Yikes.
Mm.
So that's what it was. It was Kentucky is the new place they're going to continue, and while I thought DC wasn't a great example for that kind of strategy, I do think there's a difference between you showing up in San Francisco, showing up in Seattle, showing up in New York, showing up in New Orleans, as opposed to going to places that are a little bit less progressive as those places. And I think that
Yeah.
that is powerful to go to a Kentucky, to go to somewhere where we know our queer people are there and we can have the conference and represent there. I don't think right now DC was the best place because of the heightened immigration
Right.
stuff and the potential of them playing with our people in that kind of way. I don't think that would happen in Kentucky. I don't think that would happen. I just feel like DC just wasn't the right place to prove that
Mm.
point. But they went for it, and clearly, I don't want to say it failed, but clearly, if many people didn't come, it failed. So, because there was people there,
Right. Because then
but
when you're the whole city too, it's like, you've already got these hotels booked. Everything's already kind of set up
and then
too.
there's some kind of labor thing happening with Hilton, so that's
Oh
another
shit.
bad time and shit
Oh
happening.
shit.
Like
Was there? Oh no
there
no.
was there's some kind of labor, there's some kind of labor general strike trying to being prepared happening because
Mm.
Hilton is not just against Hilton, but Hilton is one of the people that people are bucking up against them. Starbucks, da 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 da.
Mm.
So much so that they had to bring all of the Hilton workers on stage, and we was
I was gonna
clapping.
ask. I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask because
Yeah,
the plenary. There's always a little dust stuff at the plenary. There's
yeah,
usually some kind of protest. I've been involved in one.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People get on the stage and shit. So
That's
what happened at
tradition.
the that's what happened at the plenary. It was about labor, about this labor issue. Were
So
there
there
any
hasn't been any of those kind of actions in a couple of years, actually.
okay.
Them the kind of protest, baby, for many years, it's always going to be some kind of
Yeah,
protest
yeah.
creating change.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen one of those in a minute, in a long
Okay.
time. And
But you said
so
they addressed it though, the labor thing?
yeah, they addressed it and they had private conversations with Hilton and brought all of the labor workers in this Hilton that day. They were crying. They was like, "Ain't nobody ever done this for us."
That's what's up.
I was like, "Well, we queer. Of course, we gonna show you love, motherfucker."
Hmm.
But yes, that happened, and yeah, so it was all kind of weird ass shit that was happening that just felt awkward and made the situation awkward and felt tone deaf and felt like they weren't listening and felt like they were just kind of pushing through, and I think that it kind of failed. It just kind of failed, and so, but it's good to see them continue and try to do it again in Louisville, and I think it's going to be dope. So Let us know what y'all think. Did y'all go to Create and Change? What do y'all think about having gatherings with our people in places that are kind of spicy? What are your thoughts about that? What do you think? Is that a good strategy, or should we just keep it safe and keep it demure and be in places that are a little bit more safe?
You said demure.
I'm actually not that girl who think that we should always be going to California, because child, no, we need to be where our people are, and sometimes that's gonna be in those less progressive places. I ain't talking about going to DC, but we can go to other places that's a little bit more spicy. Nashville, you know what I'm saying? Some place that's a little bit more less progressive. And so, what do y'all think? Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Okay.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts. I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community, and I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community, because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community as fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show. All right. So, y'all know who Greasy Corey Holcomb is?
Yeah, I know him.
No.
I know his non-talented ass. Wasn't he one of the ones on Wildin' Out? Wasn't he on Wildin' Out at one point?
Child, I don't know. I don't follow him.
I don't know a job that he would have that would be relevant to you, Jay, but he's a quote unquote comedian slash podcaster slash social media personality, I guess.
Okay.
Washed up comedian that started to be like a red pill podcaster nigga.
I think he's always been one of them corny red pill niggas, because even his comedy was kind of centered around that, like a D. Ray Davis type,
So for listeners who may not be as clear about the red pill thing, can you just give it a little bit more context?
So
the dusty niggas, the dusty niggas, the trash niggas,
the manosphere, the dudes that are right wing. If they black, they love the patriarchal shit. They want women to be in the kitchen cooking sandwiches. They're gonna be defending the rapists. They're gonna be Bill Cosby apologists. They're gonna be R. Kelly apologists. They're gonna be abusive. They are those type of men. Those
the problematics.
very problematic.
All of the problematic dusties, all the niggas you
Andrew
don't
Tate.
want. You know how when you make a list of everything you don't want in a partner, like a liar, a cheater, a scumbag,
deceiver,
I don't want somebody to disrespect me. And it's the dudes that don't respect women. It's the dudes that be an embarrassment to their race, whether they white, black, blue, or Haitian. You know what I mean? It's
homosocial.
They be a lot of the DL dudes that you hook up with on Grindr. They tend to be the type of DL that be like, why is he even DL? Because he's corny. You know what I mean? But yeah, Corey Holcomb stays in the news. But Diamond, which one of his scandals is you talking about, girl?
Well, not in the news, in anything good, anything career boosting, anything. It's always some kind of social media viral, some bullshit he's saying or doing. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. He ain't in no movies. He ain't got no specials. Nothing. He corny and honey whack. I don't follow him. He's not my type of comedy. He is disgusting to me in every way, physically and politically. He is gross. So not recently, so I'm gonna get to the recent, but like a year and a half ago, he almost got arrested. Didn't get arrested, but almost got some charges put on him for punching a fellow black woman comedian. He attacked her and punched her in her face. But because I think
What?
the red pill kind of boosted it up that she was lying and she hit him first, that it didn't go anywhere. The police didn't. It was so many things that happened that it didn't go anywhere. And they was making it seem like she threw the first hit, which was that was the storyline. He tried to file, allegedly tried to file for a restraining order against her. She wanted to press assault charges, but he never was arrested. It was all kinds of shit like that. This happened like a year and a half ago. And
So they tried to make it. So they tried. I didn't know that part. They tried to make it out like she was a brick gate.
like she was the one, like lying. Said she was the aggressor and attacked him, and he turned around and punched her in the face. Well,
Like wrote a bad slide and said she got bust with that brick.
right, and he tried to go make it seem like he felt threatened and went and go to get a restraining order against her. But recently the video comes out of the incident from another angle of a store or a location that was pointing in the direction. So, and what we see, the footage shows that it was not her hitting nobody. He, like a bitch ass nigga, snuck her and punched her in her fucking face.
That's crazy.
And a dude had to come up and push him out the way and slam him down because he was literally trying to fight her.
That dude was swinging on him and everything, Diamond. We ain't going, soften it up for him, honey. The boy came and the boy was swinging him and had pushed him away from the woman and all that. But honey, they had got into a little scuffle after that, him and the boy.
Yeah, and they said he slammed him down. And the niggas was trying to stop the dude. Instead of trying to stop Corey from punching and hitting on her, they were trying to stop the dude that was defending her.
That's wild. Yeah,
and knowing niggas, of course, allegedly allegations, knowing niggas though, and from my own experience, I imagine it was given. Yo, don't put your hands on Corey. He the comedian nigga. He the one with the podcast. He probably, paid their way in the club. He probably was their ride.
That's crazy. I mean, if he ain't shit, I would imagine he hang around ain't shit people. So
of course,
that
you know what I mean? Like that's
period.
Surprise. Right.
And for me, it wasn't a surprise because niggas like him abuse women. That's just what it is. That's just how. There is nothing about him that screams, I'm a gentleman, I'm nurturing to women, I'm soft to women. Even some of his content talks about how when he cuts his money off from a woman, it puts her in a position where she has to come back and beg for him.
Yeah, he likes struggle pussy. But what do you mean, Diamond, that men like him, that people like him are the ones who assault women? I thought it was the trannies in the bathroom assaulting women. What's going on?
Oh my God. Not the trannies.
Honey, even though the last time I saw tranny and bathroom in the same headline, it was a trans woman getting assaulted by cisgender women in the bathroom is what I had seen.
That's what I had seen too. That's what I had saw.
Oh.
But, the pick-me's will love to be on these niggas' side. I don't know if y'all remember this, but this was a big thing in the early 2000s. There was this monkey, this ape that got away from its owner and mauled this woman, and she was all over like different like talk shows. Like I think she was on
the woman
Oprah.
With the face.
And the ape had mauled her, and her face was deformed, and she was making her rounds on different talk shows, and
Jordan Peele put her in the horror movie Diamond.
Word.
He put a version of her in the fucking horror movie, girl.
I live. So I wish it would put her. I'm sure she would have loved to make the money. But what? And y'all remember the innocent I don't know how to pronounce his name. Harambe,
Harambe. Harambe.
the gorilla that the little, was it the little boy jumped into the cage or the person
Oh
jumped into
yeah,
the
yeah,
cage?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah,
that y'all
yeah,
remember that, and y'all
yeah,
remember,
yeah, yeah.
and I know there's been many incidents where, like, a dog who is running around the neighborhood or who lives in the neighborhood, but he is not trained and he's attacking people and he bites people. So, like the ape and Harambe and the dog, what do we do with animals when they randomly attack people? They are out of control. We put them down. And so, when people are doing stuff like that, for me, I feel like it's time we start putting these niggas down. You can't just let them do it because they're going to do it again. When we think about abusers, we know you don't go back to them or you don't let them just keep doing it because they're going to continue to do it. We got to put them down. And I know that's controversial to say because the niggas is out here getting killed by the police and we love to shuck and jive and be performative and be like, oh, the black man is getting killed. But I'm sorry, niggas is out here being toxic and beating people. They need to be put down, period. That's my
Oh,
opinion.
oh my. I don't believe in capital punishment. I do believe that nigga need to be somewhere, under control. I do believe that he needs to be controlled and tamed, and if he can't be tamed, then he could be locked away, serving some purpose to the community. Definitely not by speaking or saying anything out loud. You know, but I definitely think he should be in jail with R. Kelly. I definitely think Bill Cosby should be back in jail. And we was just covering this same idea and ideology last week with a topic, and I had made a recommendation, and I'm sticking with that recommendation. Niggas need to stop doing shit when they get a couple dollars in their pocket. Niggas need to stop doing violent shit. Period. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. Look at these bags, honey. Anybody who can see me, if you can see me right now, honey, I done aged 5 years on this
Not
show
5 years, Bree.
and then only been on this motherfucker for two. I'm telling we is
Don't put that on us. Put that on the truck.
I'm putting it on the world. We is
Not the world.
tired. I'm so tired. What she say? The woman, the old decrepit homophobic pastor woman. I'm so tired of sissies. You know her famous quote. I'm so tired of humans, bitch. I'm tired.
Evangelist Francis Kelly.
The Lord have mercy.
I'm tired, Jay. Jay, you ain't tired, Jay.
You know, yeah. I mean, I've been tired though. So
Do you think that some of these niggas, people in general, genuinely do some of this violent shit, knowing that they're going to be recorded, knowing that it's going to be caught? Do you think some of our celebrities and entertainers and people just randomly do dumb shit, knowing it's going to be a scandal just to be relevant to try and make some money as a public figure?
yeah, because that's been incentivized in a way that has never been incentivized before. You had tabloid TV, you had tabloid, whatever, but like, it's incentivized. I've heard a lot of people talk about, in terms of content, it's like, well, if I say some bullshit that's just scandalous, I'm gonna get more clicks than if I say some shit that got more substance. Like that's incentivized with I think who's a couple of different people I've seen say that, just in, various variations of that concept,
I've said it here
you
plenty
know,
of times, honey, that I say fuck
and
shit on the internet just to make a couple dollars sometimes.
that a new industry has been created that incentivizes that through, social media
Well,
platforms and
I think
TikTok and Instagram and stuff.
that works when it comes to the talking points on a podcast on a da 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 da. But I don't think violence is incentivized to go viral. I don't think that is cute.
I disagree. I
Yeah, I
disagree
don't think
because
that's.
violence goes viral all the time online. People
Yeah,
share fight videos. People share all kinds
No,
of
no, no,
stuff.
no. I'm
That
talking
goes.
about to make a career of it, to make people do
Oh,
it.
my bad. Okay. misunderstanding.
Yeah, violence, yeah, that can go viral, yes. But I'm talking about a celebrity being violent to people to go viral to make his career
Yeah,
better. I don't think that that's real.
that's some council culture shit. I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the idea, and allegedly allegations. I don't know what you've heard, Diamond, but I saw in what I read one of the articles that Christina alleges that he hit her because he was tired of her like being dismissive to his advances. He was trying to get with her or something.
I haven't seen her talking too much lately since the video come out. I think she's trying to, build a case. I think because they've been lying this whole time and this just came out. So I think she's going to be trying to send his ass to jail for punching her.
I mean, that's assault.
Yeah, it
Like,
literally is.
do I think people need to be quote unquote put down, as you said? No, I do think I'm kind of on similar lines as Brit, right? I think you need some intervention and or potentially, some kind of situation where you ain't around the people. But I think it calls for intervention. The only way you actually deal with any of that kind of shit is through an intervention and shifting the social culture. You know what I mean? And like actually, I mean, it's not as if that hasn't happened, right? Because we've already talked about how women got credit cards in the 70s and sexual harassment became illegal in the 80s. Okay. So like you know what I'm saying? So how people talk about how men talk about shit, what sexism looks like has changed. It's kicked up now, and we'll get more into that when I get into my topic with the online shit. But like there's intentionally working with young boys and having those conversations. We live in a culture that incentivizes boys and men to be violent. You know what I mean? And so I think, if there's more interventions when people are young, that is helpful. If there are people have more examples of shit that's not ain't shit Negroes, that's helpful. Right?
I think Jay, I think that is true. I think you're talking about prevention. When I talk about putting niggas down, I'm talking about putting niggas down in the moment. I'm talking about when
Oh,
a
you mean like whooping
motherfucker.
somebody's ass? Oh yeah.
I thought that you was talking
Girl, I
about
thought
putting
you same
somebody's
shit.
death. But no,
Bree, we
absolutely
I
not.
understand.
am.
If I happen to shoot your ass because you didn't put your hands on me, bye, nigga. You know
No,
what
no,
I
no,
mean?
no, no, no. I understand self defense, but I'm not just talking about self defense. I'm talking about vigilante justice.
Oh shit,
I'm
bitch.
talking about, and I'm not expecting people to agree with me. This is what I'm talking about. Is we have a failing justice system. We have a system that just now let a bitch out of jail on a bullshit bond, and she was intentionally breaking the bones of black babies. And you want me to go, not you and y'all specifically, but you want me to think that this justice system is gonna be cool. We got these women out here getting charged with murder and manslaughter for miscarriages. I don't give a fuck about this justice system. They're not doing what they're supposed to do in this time where these motherfuckers are being more bold to beat our ass and kill us and wear us out. When we even think about the DL Whisperer driving to Madison's house this week, threatening to attack her. These motherfuckers are getting more and more bold when it comes to them attacking us. And this aligns with this rise in conservatism. Just like these fucking ICE niggas is getting crazy and killing these white people. You're not about to tell me that it's not emboldened Butch Queen to attack us, black men to attack us. All of this shit is emboldening them. So if I feel
Specific types of black men, yeah,
specific types of black
who
men
on some ain't shit, right?
that who ain't shit, and it's
Right.
emboldening them. They are being emboldened by this whole rhetoric that's happening. And we're pointing. The ice shit is getting blown up, but there is shit that's undergirds what is happening with this conservative wave going up. And I think that the violence is evidence of that. They're
Yeah.
being too motherfucking bold. So put these niggas down.
I mean
Put them down.
a big part of this bigger picture situation, right, is creating agitation, taking away people's jobs, taking away all these conditions that we know lead to an increase in domestic violence, period, point fucking blank.
Yeah, the society
I mean, this is not a new
you
conversation just because
No.
we having it now. This is a conversation that's been had for a long fucking time, and we know what kind of interventions work, and that's why they're tearing all those interventions apart and defunding things that actually do fucking help. And then we
yeah,
also dealing
you
with this
creating the
outside
argument.
influence that's helping to amplify bullshit in a way that it wasn't 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
Period.
that aids to the argument. You going to defend niggas till the day you die, till the death of you, honey. But it's creating an
Who?
environment for more men to
Who?
be scumbags, for scumbag
Wait, wait,
behavior to
wait,
be normalized.
What you just slip in there, Bree?
Honey, let me finish talking. I can't get a word in edgewise, and when I do, you in that. God damn it, honey. But no, like you going to defend niggas to the death of you, but realistically, this shit, everything that you just said means that it is more normalized for ancient behavior from men, for misogyny from men, for homophobia, for transphobia, for all of the
I'm
things.
gonna look at it. Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
yes, I
I'm
just
gonna look at it through a black feminist lens, and a black feminist lens is gonna look at a solution, and that's all I'm saying. And also, I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it through a black feminist lens, which is gonna still be solution oriented about centering
So
us.
what you think?
That's all I'm saying.
So what you trying to
I'm not saying you're
insinuate?
not, but I'm
Because
also saying that I also am. Is what I'm saying,
just
and
because my
it's gonna
solution,
be solution oriented, right?
just because
And so
my
I do know
solution
that.
ain't, just because my solution ain't your solution, just because my solution might end with their bodies, don't mean that I'm not a black feminist.
I didn't say that though. All I am saying is what I'm saying is also through that lens. It's through
no.
that
I
lens.
think it's both. I think you are what you talking about prevention. I think that is amazing. I think that's great. I want people to stop being weak enough to let these motherfuckers get rid of shit.
What?
There's
What?
no. I feel like there's no way that a Zimmerman, a Kyle Rittenhouse, that lady that was breaking the bones of black babies should be out in these motherfucking streets. When we see that the
Right.
justice system did not work, there these warriors out here that don't mind putting a bullet in a motherfucker, that don't mind doing what they do. Why y'all not doing it on some shit that matters instead of
I'll say this, everything is local, right? And so I know from my experience, like in my community growing up, like, yeah, if you fuck with somebody like that, you probably gonna get your ass whooped, depending on who your cousins are, your family are, you got. I know folks that have been sexually assaulted, and then every time certain people saw them, they ass gets beat to this day on demand. I see you at the bus stop. I'm whooping that ass. So yeah, like I'm for that too. I'm not for that. I am for that. And like, let's not get it twisted just because I'm saying, yeah, I think, I want black people to be healthy, including black men, right? Including black boys, and like shifting that culture. That's all I'm saying. It's all those things.
no. I
But yeah,
think
if
that's
you
true.
if
I think
you
that's true.
violate somebody like that, you gonna get your ass whooped. If you know what I'm saying, somebody
Yeah.
fuck with my sisters especially back in the day, I got brothers. They gonna whoop that ass. You know what I'm saying? Period. I'm on the same page.
I'm kind of if Diamond, if you saying what I think you saying, then I think I'm more on your wave. Like I'm beyond ass whooping. Like I'm tired of whipping motherfuckers ass. Motherfuckers don't learn from ass whippings. They heal from ass whippings and go back and do the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean? So I get it. Me personally, where you losing me, Diamond, is that I just don't think that smacking a woman, even if I was to get smacked by Corey Holcomb's ugly ass, I don't think it warrants death, like a death sentence, like
It warrants
premeditated
an
death.
ass whooping.
Now if I happen to shoot you on the spot, in self defense, then you just gone, nigga. But I think that that's an ass whipping situation. I think that's a situation where me and my peoples will have to pack his ass out, maybe bring him near death. You know what I mean? But no, I think if we took out every nigga that smacks one of us or will smack one of us, it ain't gonna be no niggas left, bitch.
There definitely would be some people left. Okay.
Few, yeah, Jay, we know you gonna ride for niggas till the death of you.
Well, I'm just
Few,
saying.
you
It's
would
like
you
I
would be
know.
one of the
Hey,
few. You
hey.
would be
If
one of
there's
the
a
few.
if all the black men in the world, if you got to be in a place diverse set of black men. Shit. It's gonna include ain't shit and those who
Mis-
not on ain't shit.
misi-
That's all I'm
misi-
saying.
misogyny and beating women is universal. It don't come with a language, a
And we
race,
know
a
trans guys getting
creed,
their ass
a color,
whooped and raped every
honey. And
fucking
you know,
day.
and you know your motherfucking
Dude,
self, honey. It ain't even gotta have a gender to it, honey. You know, honey, how problematic motherfucking lesbian relationships can be, honey. The way they
yeah.
beat and bang the fuck on each other. So if we shot everybody who beat a black woman, we wouldn't have no daddies, we wouldn't have no uncles, like the fuck I said, we wouldn't have no studs, we wouldn't have no femmes, we wouldn't have no trans men, honey. Jay would be the only one left, the only masculine
Going
and
somewhere with
free.
that bullshit. You sound like a white person now, because
I'm
that's
joking.
that's what
I'm
they say.
joking.
All black men are predators.
I'm exaggerating, of course. Clearly, I'm being comical for all of our people, and I do have to sincerely, I do have to be respectful of all of our people who may be a bit neurodivergent and don't catch my sarcasm. But I'm being sarcastic, guys.
I'm not being sarcastic about putting
We
niggas
know
down.
that, Diamond.
About putting niggas down, baby. If they beating on you, put them down. If they beating on your daughters, put them down. If they beating on your mama, put them down. That's what I'm saying. However you need to do that.
But don't we all come from communities where that already, or that you especially used to happen more often? I feel like than it does now. I do.
I feel like it's becoming more normalized with Generation Z. Jay, I think one of
I'm
the
talking
biggest.
about for somebody to go whoop their ass. Like if you touch my mama, like I got cousins that's gonna fucking hunt you down. You touch my sister, my mama, my brother, da da da, and we find out who the fuck you are, we gonna find you
Now
and whoop that ass.
I have rules to the shit, and you do have to keep in mind that the murder that I witnessed as a child did revolve around adolescent domestic violence, right?
Mm.
So I do have probably a huge bias perspective, but I think you only get one chance. I think if it's definitely like a domestic situation, I think you will only get one chance to put your hands on your mama,
Yep.
uh, without being taken the fuck out. Because I feel like if you get your ass whipped that first time and you still ain't learned, you repeating behaviors, then yeah, it's time for us to trail behind you, because clearly the synapse ain't synaptic. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not the synapse, not synapse.
So yeah, I that's all I wanted to talk about. That buffoon, that violent buffoon. So put the apes down. Hashtag Marsha's
Oh
plate.
Lord.
Oh Lord, oh Lord,
Jesus.
hashtag put the apes down. Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Oh Lord. Period. Next thing you know, these white people gonna be taking a clip from this shit, talking about, yeah, put the apes down. That's we're agreeing with
I
the black
mean,
trans
and
women.
and I would
For
love the
real.
free full promotion. Get all the motherfuckers that they would be promoting every motherfucking episode. We would be stealing clips from them to post. Right. Child, honey, even if you don't keep up with the news, bitch, I know that y'all is seeing these white people get shot down like dogs in the street in Minneapolis, bitch. I know you done seen that, honey, Miss Renee Good. The interesting thing about Renee Good is I don't hear them much speak of her as a queer woman. I don't hear the
Huh.
people. I don't hear people much speak about her in the news outlets that are mainstream, because I keep my eye on mainstream. I got to know who, what the adversity is. I got to know what to speak against. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't hear much about her being queer. They don't say my partner was actually shocked when I told him that she was queer, and then funny enough, in that one instance, they mentioned her wife, but it was a queer content creator, so I'm not surprised. Anyway, in mainstream they don't talk about her being queer, but there's also been this Alex Parati, I believe is how you pronounce his name, known in the news, in the mainstream news, as the ICU nurse who's gunned down by the ICE. And that's how I knew that it wasn't a black person when I first seen the headlines and I heard people talking about it. I was like, yeah, this got to be a white man, because they don't describe us by our professions. It's going to be black woman shot down, black activist, crackhead, addicts, it's gonna be something prostitute, it's gonna be something slanderous, you know what I mean? It's gonna be something to try and degrade our integrity, you know. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that I'm sure all of y'all have heard these stories, and I don't know about y'all, but not only am I desensitized and I'm beyond tired of law enforcement killing civilians, um, I'm a little irritated that just as I expected and just as a lot of us expected, as soon as it happens to them, it's a problem. I'm just tired now that it's happening to white people. Now that they getting gunned down in the middle of the street by law enforcement, now it's a problem. Child, I'm so tired. But how do y'all feel about the public recognition of law enforcement killing civilians, killing innocent civilians?
But they rarely talking about people like Keith Porter.
Uh See, I've been so bombarded with the stories, and I'm pro black. I look for nigga shit, and still yet I talked about Renee Good and Alex Peretti and forgot to mention Keith Porter Jr., who was also gunned down by law enforcement. But again, this is why I'm tired, because we have so many stories that I've lost count in the black community.
I'm gonna say this. Rest in peace to all these people who have been getting murdered by ICE in these detention centers as well, not just, on the streets. Um, I think that this is regular. I think this is a regular expectation to have in this country, in the settler colony. We look at Freedom Summer in 1964. They purposefully said, we're going to bring these white people down here, down south, because we know these cameras going to come down south. And when they get their ass whooped, because we know what, the dynamics of white American culture, they might give a fuck a little bit more when they see some white kids getting their ass whooped. It's just what it is. And then, in 1964, you had the murder of James Chaney, who was black, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner, who were both white.
Mm.
And that was an inflection point that changed the game.
In Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Neshoba County, yep.
Mm.
And, they didn't want to bring the federal government in, but there was so much pressure that they had to bring the feds in to do an investigation. And this is kind of one of the first times where you see the civil right, you kind of have a civil rights, that's gutted now. They ain't doing shit. But this idea of a civil rights division to defend, like they had to come down there. The feds had to come down there. They did an investigation. They eventually found the bodies. They were missing for a minute. And they were in a unearthing, like they put them in the ground, all this crazy shit. But strategy wise, it's gonna, Roland Martin show, he's been saying for years, it's probably gonna take some white people dying for white people to actually kind of plug in. And particularly, what's the Renee Good? She's white, but she's queer. And in black media and more not necessarily mainstream media, Democracy Now, that's, what they point that shit out. They talk about it. They name that. And they name how, I was looking at some shit today when they were talking about, yeah, they're paying attention to this, supposed, apparently, assumably, straight white man who had a conceal and carry license, was able to have a gun, who was trying to defend a woman from getting pepper sprayed or getting fucked up by the ICE agent. You can't make this shit up, right? And he was a nurse at the VA, and they got video of him reading the last rites to a veteran dying. So this is like all American white boy. And all American white boy, Renee Good being murdered, she was in the car, and all these other factors, people were still kind of like, you started hearing white people be like, oh yeah, that's fucked up, like in a way that they weren't responding to all these other videos of us being killed, right? When a lot of folks were out in the streets. Yeah, but it's different when it's a white man who's cisgender and straight. Yes, we gonna get a different reaction. I am sad that this person is dead and everybody is dead, but I'm hoping and we're seeing that it is getting a different reaction. The NRA didn't say shit over the weekend, but they out today and say, "Oh, wait a minute, what the fuck? What you mean you can't have a fucking permit with a gun and be at a protest? Wait a minute, we ain't about that shit. Yes, you can. It was legal per the Constitution and how they fucking get down with they bullshit, and it's legal in the state of fucking Minnesota because you can go into the state of Minnesota
Wasn't that
Capitol with a
wasn't
gun.
that the purpose? Wasn't that the purpose of the Second Amendment for us to bear arms to be able to fight against our government if our government do fuck with
That
it?
was the purpose.
Yeah, against militia. Yeah.
And
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I do want to point out, since we even brought that up, I do want to point out, y'all, that there has been misinformation from government officials on mainstream news media
Oh
saying
yeah, the
or
federals.
giving the impression that this guy was wielding his pistol. He was wielding his firearm. They had already taken the firearm from his person
Yes.
before he was shot.
Right.
I mean, first I was watching Laree Daniel Favors. She does a video. She got a show on Sirius XM in the morning, but she also does like 30 minutes of that show live on YouTube. And she was talking today, and we'll have a link. I'll send it in the chat. And she was talking about this. She said, "Man, I was watching the video. The way they was beating his ass before they shot him." She said, I thought it was a black man. The way they were whooping his ass before they took the gun off his person and then shot him 10 times or whatever, right?" And yeah, it's ironic to hear white people be so certain in a way that they've had a bajillion fucking questions about every fucking black person who's been unarmed and killed. It's ironic and sad, and definitely on a local level, particularly for folks in Minneapolis and St. Paul and them Twin Cities for black folks where, not only was George Floyd murdered there, Philando Castile said, "I have a weapon on me, I have conceal and carry," and was shot right in front of his boo and his baby.
It was
Okay,
7 blocks away, y'all.
from where Philando Castile was, or from where George Floyd was murdered,
Yes.
or yeah, because he was on Castile was on the highway. But yeah, it was. So yeah, I mean, I share the frustration, Bree, but I also have a sense of I'm encouraged that this will be an inflection point for, because you got Republicans out here now saying, "Oh wait, hold the fuck up on this. What we doing?" In a way that you just wouldn't have. You didn't have with the white woman even. Okay, so like, we live in a settler colony that's white. That's how these white people get down because of their culture. They're ingrained and conditioned, and black folks are also conditioned not to fully see black people as people, to see our pain, right? To see us as, because we came here as, according to them, as product. So you know what I'm saying? But when it's one of them, oh yeah. Cause now they know. You got white people saying on different news and shit, "Oh, this is what the black people is talking about." Yes, this is what we're talking about. Because you already were living in a situation where your quote fellow citizens were already dealing with a fascist state and getting our ass whooped. Like we just talked about Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner. They didn't think anybody was gonna come down there and follow up when the police were involved in them people getting killed and all the bullshit we had to deal with down south in all these different places up north. And you know what I'm saying? So, if that is what is going to take, because he purposely put his body on the line anyway and intentionally had a weapon to protect himself and potentially others, I am encouraged by that. I am encouraged by, yeah, I'm just encouraged by that. But I also am frustrated. And I can't imagine being a black person in Minneapolis right now, kind of caught between the tension of that. I hope that it leads to, and it has already. We've already seen Hakeem Jeffries came out and said, "Oh wait, no, we're not gonna fund that. We're not funding that bill for more money for ICE." Now Chuck Schumer, the Senate minority leader for the Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries is the House minority leader for the Democrats. Both of them have come out and said, we're not going to fund this. You've had a couple Democratic Congress folks. Or the Senate, I got to double check. But you had a couple folks in Congress come out and say, "Oh, we fucked up." Out of this, because there's only like 7 Democrats that supported funding the ICE bill, and so they have come out and said, "Oh, we fucked up. I am so sorry. I deeply regret." Blah 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 blah. Bullshit. The reason they're doing that is because people are calling their Congress people. A lot of times we talk about the shit as if, oh, just wait till I get to the next election and vote. No, no, no. Congress makes the laws. So call your Congress people. If you live in a blue area that's super blue, like a Seattle, call them because they ain't got shit to lose. We need those folks to leverage what they can that are super safe. And if you got folks that's kind of in the middle, call them. If you got folks on the right, especially with this shit now, NRAs out here like, oh, wait a minute, call them. That's where the laws get made. They don't get, I mean, I know we know that, but I'm saying just for folks, like sometimes we forget. It ain't the fucking president. The president signs the bill or vetoes. It's the Congress people that make the law. And the way we influence them is not just on election day. It's by calling them and saying, you better not vote for that fucking bill. Because we're not voting for you for vote. And that kind of pressure has resulted in the Democratic Party saying, we ain't supporting no motherfucking ICE no more. It's not just because it's on the news. It's because they're getting phone calls to their offices from people in their fucking districts. So,
Yeah.
Tell them on their social media. Tell them on wherever they are. Tell them. Let them
call their offices. Yeah, call their offices.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Let me ask this, Bree.
I had a question, but go ahead. What's your question? I'm curious if we got the same one.
Is this because I see we do this in other situations. Is this meet you where you are type of situation? Shaming them for being late to the party isn't going to help them, isn't going to help us build a coalition. Is because I see people bring that kind of talking point up when people kind of hold them to the fire about, we've been telling y'all this, we've been trying to teach y'all for the past fucking 10 years or more. We've been trying to tell y'all to wake the fuck up. This is something that's been going on in our streets. And when we say that and it make them feel shame and make them feel fragile and make them, and oh my God, they're making me feel like a bad white person. They're making me feel guilty about slavery, or they're making me feel whatever. When we do that, does that undermine us trying to be in coalition with them? Is it okay, yeah, they finally come into the party, we got to meet them where they are, we can't shame them for being late to the party? Is this one of those moments?
Not for me. That's what that's what I was realizing as Jay was talking. I agree with Jay. I am grateful that they are finally at the party, but I think their lateness to the party is the reason why they're not at the barbecue. Um, but no, just at the end of the day, y'all know I don't have anything against white people, and I even understand from a psychological level how things could affect you differently when it hits closer to home, and when it's somebody who looks more like you, it can feel like it hits closer to home. A lot of things when they happen to white people, it doesn't make me feel unsafe until it happens to black people. Like with COVID, for example, when we first started hearing cases of COVID, until I knew somebody personally who had COVID, or until I knew a nigga that had COVID, I wasn't convinced. I was on the border
Oh,
about believing it was really a thing. So I'm glad y'all at the motherfucking party, honey. I'm glad that y'all are finally here. Um, people have been
oh,
people have been leaving comments, and I'm curious, what do y'all think, if any, change will occur in this current administration
I
regarding
was. Oh.
regarding this situation? Do y'all think that this is going to spark any change?
We are. I mean, I think we already seeing a shift with white people that you probably wouldn't expect to. I don't think it's gonna change everything, but I do think you know. Even some of the white people like, oh, this is they treat us like we black people. Yeah, we try to tell you. Vice President Harris said Donald Trump gonna come and attack The fucking enemies. Donald Trump's gonna come to your state. He's gonna come whoop ass. Gonna bring the police. Gonna target people. She said that when she ran for fucking president. She said this literally, this type of shit was gonna happen when she was running for president. So it's also an opportunity for folks who were feeling apathetic, who do feel apathetic, who do feel checked out, to understand that like we didn't have to have this. Period. We didn't. We didn't have to do that. And we have an
If
opportunity.
Johnny has 5 apples.
Okay. And we, no, for real, right? And we have an opportunity to shift this, right? Not just in the midterms in November and waiting to vote, but again, call your Congress people. Any of the shit you don't like, call them up. Shit.
What changed, Diamond? What change do you foresee predict?
That's literally how I feel. I'm like, if Johnny has 5 apples, that's what I feel like. I'm like, my great grandmother was telling you hoes this. My grandmother was telling you hoes this. My mama
Since this
was
thing
telling you hoes
started,
this.
right?
I'm telling you hoes this. There's a generation. Every generation, some bullshit is going on. We telling y'all motherfuckers it's going on. And y'all don't change. So it's not I'm against white people or men. I'm not against just groups. I'm against complacent hypocrites. We've been telling y'all that this shit is going on, and the only way that you can care is when your old people start getting fucked up. I don't like that. Know that Johnny had 5 apples, bitch, so we can start building on the fucking what's going on.
Yep.
I'm tired of telling you this same fucking shit. We tired.
Yeah. I mean, and for us as black folks, like, yo, voter turnout went down in that election. Like, we got enough black people in a lot of places that could have changed the outcome of that shit. So, white people going white. We also have to do what the fuck we need to do, too. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, Diamond, if Johnny has 5 apples, here the fuck we are, right?
Right.
Yeah, well I'm over this whole subject, honey. I'm closing her out. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know how do y'all feel about the murders of Keith Porter, Renee Good, and Alex Preddy. And make sure you hashtag Marsha's Plate, honey.
Okay.
Do I have to do it for you per usual? Yes, the fuck I do, honey. That's
break it down, break it down.
That's hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Period. Y'all wore me the fuck out last week about this damn algorithm. And so I'm just gonna put some more context on it. I got some questions. So we know, so Russia, for example, utilizes, they call it a fire hose of falsehoods. Let me back up. So the context we were talking about it was I was saying that, there's a lot of bots, trolls, algorithm things happening online that's making shit sound louder than it really is when it comes to misogyny, sexism, division in the black community, all kinds of shit, particularly for black folks and other marginalized communities. The trans versus non-binary moment, that's an example of that. Black women versus real black women versus trans black women, that's an example of it. The ADOS shit, that's an example of it. It's not saying that these aren't things that people feel, but these used to be reserved for the DVDs you got outside of somebody's trunk, right? Or at the store where you go get your oils, right? That's where you got your DVD and your hidden colors and things, okay? It wasn't something that was blowing up on the line and being further amplified until the last 10 years. And so, anyway, there's a lot of fake online black accounts. Y'all both don't know that because y'all are online content folks and know about that. In 2006, I'm sorry, there's Russian linked accounts, or there's they have an internet research agency called IRA. And investigations into the 2016 to 2020 U.S. elections revealed that the Russian Internet Research Agency extensively targeted African American audiences, with Facebook and Twitter initially, The Blacktivist account was one of the most prominent fake accounts designed to impersonate black activists and amplify racial tensions. Blacks Matters US was another one, a site created by Russian operatives to mimic the Black Lives Matter movement. There were several Tumblr accounts. There were also things based out of Ghana and Nigeria. And the main point of all of these is to sow division and within the black community. They've engaged in a long-term campaign to divide the black community, and their main thing is to exploit existing racial tensions, disrupt political processes, and suppress voter turnout by impersonating black activists and creating fake kind of grassroots accounts and encourage apathy, right? Like Bree, like you said, I'm tired. A lot of people are tired. I'm tired too, shit, because there's so much bullshit, right? But a part of that is their strategy to kind of wear us out. Key aspects of those disinformation campaigns. A U.S. Senate inquiry concluded that no single group was targeted more by Russian disinformation than African Americans. And then there were also Russian troll farms, such as we talked about the Internet Research Agency that created all these fake social media accounts and organizations like, quote, woke blacks and blacktivists to stir up controversy and infiltrate online communities. That's also some of this manosphere was created out of this too. Because it just wasn't a thing in the way that it is now 10 years before 2016. And that's because a lot of divisive shit is getting blown up through these fake accounts and through bots and trolls. And a lot of the bots and trolls learn for us because they'll make comments and sometimes the grammar is off or their quote AAVE is off. You know what I'm saying? Some of their shit is off and it sounds a little weird. And a lot of times for the last 10 years, people have been correcting, oh, that's not how you say that. And they've been taking notes. You know what I'm saying? And now we're in an era with AI. And it's just kind of going to the next level. Specifically, just real quick, I'll get into the question. Outside influences, including algorithmic bias, coordinated misinformation, and historically rooted negative stereotypes are heavily influencing and amplifying divisions between black men and black women online. These factors often create, quote, gender wars by intentionally spreading false narratives that suggest that the two groups do not support each other. Here are the key ways outside influences are dividing through algorithmic bias and misinformation. So the algorithms amplify sensational or divisive content, which can fuel friction between black men and black women, often exaggerating negative, unrepresentative experiences. Misinformation campaigns may deliberately target these communities to manipulate perceptions and fracture existing support systems. Then media portrayals and stereotypes, negative, stereotypical depictions of black men, violence, criminality, and black women, angry, loud, in media influence how they perceive each other. These warped narratives, sometimes referred to as, quote, black opticon, surveillance and stereotypical viewing contribute to this misconception or the misconceptions. And then again, targeted divisive narratives, efforts to make black women believe black men do not love them and vice versa. These narratives, sometimes called gender wars, are designed to disrupt unity and stability. And then the manosphere and misogynoir war. Online spaces such as Black Manosphere often display high levels of misogynoir, misogyny experienced by black women, contributing to the marginalization of black women's voices and perpetuating the idea that they are not feminine or respectful enough. The impact of relationships and data. While data shows that high percentages of black men are married to black women, over 85 to 95% in certain income brackets, the online narrative frequently focuses on the exceptions or stereotypes. Furthermore, interracial dating trends, when heavily promoted or critiqued online, are sometimes used to create feelings of rejection or competition. In contrast to these online narratives of division, research indicates that the majority of black Americans, both men and women, do support each other and value family and community cohesion. We saw that with the election when they're like, black men ain't voting for Kamala Harris. And it was everywhere online. You couldn't go nowhere, couldn't go a day without seeing that. And then when it came out to the turnout, The second largest group that supported Vice President Harris was black men, and it got with like over 80% of the vote. Number one was black women. And some this is coming from a composite on Google of different sources in it. So we'll have links because a part of the tactic is to overwhelm us with so much bullshit. Um, Going back to the Russian, like their tactics is the falsehood, the fire hose of falsehoods, rapidly disseminating high volume, contradictory, and false narratives across various channels without regard for objective truth, reflective control, manipulating the information environment, that's the algorithms, to influence adversaries into making decisions against their own interests. That's what they did with these white people with MAGA because they were targeted with algorithms. Like, that's just what the fuck it is. I'm from Wisconsin. They did it in a recall election for Scott Walker, who was the governor. It was the template. Literally the same shit once Donald Trump ran in 2016 was the same shit these white people were saying in Wisconsin in 2011. It's family against, like the same rhetoric because they were using Facebook and all that kind of shit to kind of, figure this shit out to get ready for 2016. Blending the truth and misinformation, embedding falsehoods within factual context, right? Sowing confusion and doubt, using massive amounts of contradictory information to make finding the truth difficult, often leading to apathy. And they call it
Never even
okay,
heard
Yeah.
the
calamitous
fucking word.
messaging, inciting fear, particularly regarding threats and things like that. So anyway, how do you in the audience like? How do you sort through and balance? Because I think that's kind of why I kept being like, we got to just keep that in mind. It wasn't the focus of my topic, but I know we talked more about it. But how do you sort through, kind of balancing out? You know, um, I was looking online today and saw a YouTube. I think I was looking at the View and watching a clip from that, and they're talking about what's happening in Minneapolis and these murders. And in the comments, some of the comments were like, well, you shouldn't have a gun. Of course you're going to get killed. Well, people never really were saying that shit in comments. Like, to me, that's a clear example of something for me that seems pretty super fucking extreme. Just like they were saying, remember back in the day, was Hillary Clinton was killing people and had the sex ring and all that kind of shit. And that, that's kind of all that shit. And, who the fuck says that? Don't nobody really say that. Not saying it ain't people out there that do, but it was too many people saying it for the shit to be legit. You know what I'm saying? How do you balance that out? And do you have any advice for our audience to just kind of balance that out between, protecting your emotional health and also, being discerning about shit that if the shit sound real, if it seems too extreme, that's probably a sign that either that's some bullshit or somebody is,
Well, let us answer the question,
or
Jay.
somebody might be, you know, um, spreading it without knowing.
Yes, yes, Jay. Yes, that is an example of that is an example I was going to give. If something sounds too extreme in the comments, it likely is. It likely is not a real person or not their real views. Don't just have to keep in mind about bots, but there are trolls. There are troll farms as well, which are real people who will comment under your shit under various social media platforms. That's why platforms have created things like being able to filter your comment section, blah, all of that. I don't recommend filtering your comment section, people, only because the way censorship is set up, there they will censor your affirmations as well and filter affirmations as well because a lot of these filters are set up to not be able to catch nuance. My biggest suggestion is as soon as you start to um, get trolls and get bots in your social media atmosphere and your social media presence and your social media life, I suggest blocking. Do not create a safe space for people who want to demean or degrade you. You know, And unless you're going to make money off of it, I can't see the point in you spending time talking to a whole bunch of trolls and bots online. And unless you're like me and addressing trolls and bots, I can use them as comedic relief and make a cute coin off of it and make people laugh and giggle that day. You know what I mean? At their expense. I would suggest not entertaining those people, even though I entertain people and talk shit. My block list is very long. Um, like Jay was saying, if it's too extreme, if it sounds too extreme, it very likely is. You also have to keep in mind that there are real people who will say extreme shit in your comments against trolls because extreme equals views. The most trolling and bots that I tend to see in particular is on X, formerly known as Twitter. A lot of people don't fuck with Twitter anymore. And if you're on there, you can tell even the presence has gone down. The audience has gone down over there. But I see the most bots over there. And it will wear you out. You won't even be able to get to the good comments for the negative bullshit. So I personally don't even post on Twitter. Um, I'm only on Twitter for porn. I only go to Twitter for porn and for videos that are censored on other social media outlets because Twitter is the wild, wild west. So I go to Twitter for extreme shit to expect extreme shit, but I don't even read the comment section in other people's videos on fucking Twitter because it's going to be a fucking fool. Don't trust faceless accounts. If you're not really familiar, social media 101, social media common sense, if they don't have a profile pic, they not a real person. If they don't have no content with their real face, real voice, real family, real life, real something, that they ain't real. No, inanimate objects don't count. Them having a whole IG with a motorcycle, no, this is social media 101. Just assume that those people ain't real people and that they bots and weirdos every time. Better safe than sorry. For me personally, I think the only excuse somebody would have to not post their face on their social media account is because they're in witness protection. If you're in witness protection, I don't want to be involved because I don't want to be shot fucking around with you. Um, Also, another reason is because they don't want you to look them the fuck up. They may be a recognizable face. You might do a reverse image search and come back with mugshots, bitch, or the sex offender registry. So don't trust faceless accounts. Avoid Twitter. Avoid comment sections on Twitter, honey. But a lot of us, honestly, Jay, I want to approach the fact that I know for me, I get a lot of my content from blogs. I get a lot of my content from blogs. I think a bigger issue than bots and trolls on the internet at this point is people promoting bullshit. I think our bigger issue in the Black community is blogs. Our blogs promote bullshit. Our blogs tend to promote misogyny. I know even sometimes I fear being boring, you know. When I have real shit that I want to talk about. A lot of times I don't talk about my real feelings in my real life because I feel like it's too boring. It wouldn't entertain a crowd. So I say that just to say that I perpetuated bullshit as well. You know what I mean? These days I try and be more conscious of the bullshit that I do perpetuate, you know. But at the end of the day, we have we have an issue, I think, as humans to prefer watching the train crash versus the train arrive.
What about you, Diamond? Like what? How do you balance it out? How do you find the nuance in?
I had one more tip
Yeah.
about AI.
Hmm.
I just had one tip about AI, y'all, because I know a lot of y'all are concerned about AI and deep fakes. If it seems like it has no soul, take don't n- for real,
Don't question it. Right.
don't question it. Don't take it as reality. If it sounds like somebody is speaking with no soul, somebody singing with no soul, if they just look too, just don't believe it.
Yeah, for you, Diamond, how do you discern? How do you find the nuance? Because it's not to say, okay, let's not talk about certain things, right? That are fuck shit, obviously, but also keeping in mind, like, okay, it may not be as amplified as what it might seem online. Like, how do you find that balance for yourself, and like, what would you suggest for our audience too? Just to also protect your mental health, your wellness too.
As I always say when we talk about this, I think that a version of this has always existed. When I think about how the media we just talked about earlier, you brought up them intentionally bringing white folks into the space so they can see how the dogs is biting them and the hoes is wearing them out and da 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 da. How it wasn't until that happened that some shit started to change and people started to pay attention. Prior to that, the South, the whole media, the TV, all the news, they were covering the civil rights movement in a way that was super, super negative. It was framing black people as criminals. And when we talk about the media doing this, we're talking about the newspaper. At the time, it's not the internet. It's the newspapers. It's the TV news. It's everything. It's the cartoonists. All kind of media that people can create. They are sensationalizing the violence. They are framing criminality. There is particularly in the South. Not that it was just in the South, but particularly in the South, there was Southern media that was distorted. Distorting everything. Even I remember there was an article when Martin Luther King got assassinated. As big as that was to people, they were putting it out as if it was they called it an odd incident. Just an odd thing. And so any kind of neglect or misrepresentation, that was a part of the thing. Even labeling activists when it comes to putting the image out that some people believed, and you had to be active in community to know about what's going on for real. And so I think that, and some of these and this was sparked because we were talking about black men shielding themselves with racism, using racism as a shield to skirt them from accountability. This was sparked because of that. But there are many talking points, even if the bots are spreading it, even if it's getting more amplified, there are many talking points that we use today that I heard in the 90s, that I heard in the 80s, that I've seen films about. It's literally a film called, in 1967, Welfare Over Fathers, that is making the talking point or examining the talking point about welfare destroying the family unit in the black community, when that has been debunked by research many times. But they were making that talking point and saying those talking things in 1967. And then I saw another film about domestic violence in the 70s, where black women was talking about domestic violence, and black men was talking about the relationship and being a man, and I might hit her, and he's talking about what we were talking about with Corey Holcomb, beating on women and it being justified, and they all were making these various different talking points that I see even today. So there are some things, while yes, there are bots, there's negative things that are pushing it out and making it more seen. These talking points are real and coming from real people. So for me, I just don't want it to be like it's not real. I want to discuss about it. There's something. We're not talking about AI like you're seeing a video that is totally not real. When I'm talking about talking points that I hear men in the barbershops talking about, when I hear men on the bus talking about, that I hear men literally discussing in person in my ear, period. This ain't no bot. This is a real nigga saying this shit. When I hear that and I want to discuss it, I don't want somebody to use the rebuttal as like, oh, that's just Russian bots, or that's just this, that's not real. I don't want to hear that all the time. I'm not saying that that's not impacting anything. What I'm saying is sometimes this shit is that I bring up is real, and I want to talk about it, and I don't want the bots to be blamed for it, because real niggas is spreading this too. They were spreading it in the 90s. They were spreading it before the internet got real big. They were spreading it in the 80s. There's some long-standing anti-black talking points that black people perpetuate, and I think that it's important to know the difference. Now, as far as keeping ourselves safe from misinformation, I think you just have to. You have to have discernment. You have to fucking get multiple points of view, really do deep dives and examine. Don't just take shit for face value or have just a simple emotional reaction to some fucking page that you don't know nothing about. You just see it and it's saying blah blah blah. Don't do that. Literally, I try not to follow. I block Shade Room. I block Hollywood Unlocked. I block those pages because I know what they're trying to do. So I follow real people who are talking, who are making points, who are showing data, I follow real motherfuckers. I'm not following some random page that's ran by a billion people. I don't know. No, I'm not doing that. So for me, my suggestion is to follow real people who have integrity, who come with the knowledge, who come with the data, who come with the statistics, who come with real information for you to do that. They're not just saying it, they're sharing it with you so you can go look for yourself. Don't just take people's word for it. Even us. Don't just take people's word for it. Go look. I think a good thing that I learned about 2 years ago is National Black Justice Coalition, NBJC, National Black Justice Coalition. They did some great data on black facts, on what's real in the black community and what's not, with real people. And I think I think it's great findings. There are some shit that is blown out of proportion. There is tons of people who support the LGBTQ community, but there's also people who feel that our queerness. So one statistic showed that there are people who feel 73% feel that their government needs to do more to protect us as LGBT people. This is cishet people. So that's a big number. That means a majority of the people, 73 is a big number of people who fuck with us, black people. But then there's another statistic later on in the data that said that they feel that our queerness shields us from some of the shit that they get as black people. The majority of them think that because we're queer, gay, trans, we have some kind of special rights. So they don't understand the intersection, how it actually makes us worse. So the bots might say something else or confirm that, but we know the data is saying this. I'm not listening to the bots. You need to listen to the numbers, the data, that people who you trust, and then go look at data somewhere else. Get multiple sources. I'm not somebody who is just going to be listening to one. I'm not going to listen to just Roland Martin. I'm not going to listen to just Reese Colbert. I'm not going to listen to just CNN. I'm not going to listen to... No, I need multiple layers. Just like this fucking video of this man getting killed. You got a video that shows this angle, then you get another video that shows this angle. There's one video that shows directly that they literally pulled the gun from his holster. Before he wasn't wielding no gun. But then another one, you don't know what he got going on. You got to look at it from different angles, and that's what I suggest. So, yeah.
Thank you for saying that about looking from different angles. I think, for me, that's the intent when I bring that up, is for a reminder of that. It's not a rebuttal. It's a reminder. When it comes to, you live in Texas. Like, we have listeners from all over the globe. The kind of sexism and shit you can say out loud in fucking Texas, you can't say in Chicago and get away with it on the South Side without somebody getting in your face, with another black man potentially getting in your face. That's what it's, you know what I'm saying? We live certain shit's regional. The South ain't the same as urban northern city. The West Coast ain't the same as a rural area. Sexism and misogyny, racism, all that shit looks different depending on where the fuck you live too. And so, that is also kind of just when I'm saying the nuance of it, it's that too. When you talked about the media, a lot of my question for you was going to ask, like, a lot of the media you're talking about was mainstream media, white media. And I think the difference what we're dealing with today is there's an infiltration in black media or black facing media that's supposed to be black people. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Is people acting like they black people, and this is a black conversation, not what the white people are doing in mainstream media. They always gonna do what they gonna do. But the concern is like, yo, like being able to discern that when we think it's us,
But
you
the
know.
reason why I intentionally brought up those documentaries because those were black people produced documentaries. It wasn't now the Southern media when it comes to how they produced, how they portrayed that. Yes, that was mainstream media. But I intentionally brought up documentaries that were black people produced
Mhm.
for that because I knew that could be a point said too. But no, I'm talking about our people too. There were points that are consistent and continue to live anti-black talking points, and that's just what it is. I also
Mhm.
think for me that nuance about me living in Texas, that I think that's a perfect example. They are spending money to spend, just like you said, this go along with what you're saying. They're spending money to move people. And one of the groups that they move quite easily is black men. We love to say that black men were the second highest people to vote for Kamala. Is that a fact? Absolutely. But in Texas, yes,
Right.
nationally, it was 80% as a whole. But in
Right.
Texas, they had one of the biggest shifts in the demographic of
Mhm.
minorities. They had one of the biggest shifts. They was aligned in the same numbers like Latinas. That's unheard
Mhm.
of.
Mhm.
They're usually right behind
Mhm.
black women, really close in the
Right.
high 80%. Black women usually in the 90, early 90s. But they were in the 70s like fucking Latinx people.
Right.
Their norm in Texas. And there was many places where there were little pockets of black men being moved.
Right. Right.
And it wasn't
Absolutely.
and it wasn't just bots. It was literally people having real people having these talking points that was
Right.
helping move them people. And
Right. No,
so
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. And I'm glad that you're being specific. That's all I'm it's the nuance of it, right? Because the truth isn't the nuance of it. To say, well, this is all I'm hearing in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like that part matters. Even if you heard it online and all that kind of shit, where we all live makes a difference in terms of what we are our lived experience. Growing up, not necessarily in Indianapolis, but in Milwaukee and having folks in Chicago, that's a different fucking vibe. That's just
I
a
that I
different.
just
It's a
I
it's a different
I
vibe.
just
Not
I
saying that shit don't exist, but the context up north. That's like I said up north. Those were DVDs
I
that
don't
you
think it
bought
always
on the
matters.
side
I don't think
versus.
it I don't think it always matters. I think that yeah, in some cases it might be relevant to bring up the fact that I heard this talking point in Texas or blah blah blah. But ultimately for me, with a lot of subjects that we discuss specifically here, um, I don't think a lot of times it matters where it happens. I think it matters that it is happening, period. The
Yes.
fact whether I'm hearing it in Texas, whether I'm hearing it in Baltimore, whether I'm hearing it in DC, it don't matter. You know what I mean? I
I get.
in a lot of cases, in some cases it does matter, but not always. I think ultimately the point that Diamond was making and that I've made before is that it's not necessary to bring up. It's not necessary to bring up all the time.
But
And it lose and it
okay.
will it'll lose its luster. Um,
It's not the point. That was not my topic. I made the comment and I wasn't clear. Like, I made the comment just to be like, just keep that shit in mind because we just talked about how these very divisive, intentionally divisive shit, because we're under attack. They want black people to be divided. And that's why they dust up ADOS shit. That's why they dust up this misogyny shit. That's why they dust up black women versus real black women versus trans women shit. And that shit was amplified all over the goddamn internet. Most people are not going to fucking work and mind their fucking business. Okay? Most people are not, you know what I'm saying? And like, for all of this shit, is what I'm saying. For all of it. Most of us are just minding, you, me, everybody on this, our listeners, all of us are just going to work, minding our business, or whatever the fuck we live in our lives. And people do have these extremes.
I don't agree with that.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me
I'm
finish.
around a lot.
Let me finish. And over the last 10 years, they've been right? Like where this shit was 10 years ago is not where the fuck it is now. Because they've been doing this shit online for the last 10 fucking years. And so it's definitely at a different level. I just want to name that and own that. It's definitely at a different level than it was 10 years ago. And I'm not saying people haven't had these fucking ideas. I've navigated the world as well as you, as a black woman and as a black girl. And I can see a stark ass fucking difference in the shit. Because about 10 years ago, online, you started having all these fucking accounts. Ghazi had his account, right? And it was all this extra ass, like, that was on purpose and that was funded by shit. And that's all I'm saying. That is a factor. We just went through the facts about the fact that this is happening.
Aren't the only. I think ultimately,
it's just to keep that shit in mind.
I think ultimately this conversation, and I'm gonna speak from my perspective. For me, it's an example of you talking more than you listen, Jay, and considering other perspectives, because there's a lot of factors more than just bots being paid and people being funded. A lot more people have had access to phones in the past 10 years. Obama phones,
technology,
more uneducated people creating social media accounts. These are factors as well, and I don't. Again, I bring up silos because maybe for you in your company that you keep, these are the people. But I know for me, when I'm making talking points, I'm not just speaking about random motherfuckers who I don't know on the internet.
I don't think that you are, and I'm sorry that's how that's landing, because I'm saying it's both and. That's all I'm saying. That is legit. Like what y'all experiencing online, what you're experiencing in real life, what I'm experiencing in real life, all of that is real. And also for our listeners who are around the globe, around the country, that's real too. That's all I'm saying. It's like just being specific about the shit. That's what I'm saying. Having that, like, what did you think about the stuff I just read? And how that plays into any of this. Like, what did you think about the stuff I just read about this intentional campaign and that these things we know that are happening to intentionally divide our communities, whether that's,
I think,
again, trans versus non-binary, because that blew up and that was a whole thing.
Wait, no. I know
all that.
I guess I'm not understanding what you're trying. I must not be understanding. It makes me feel like you are trying to say it's not real. And when I have literally heard then I'm not getting.
I'm just saying it's more amplified, is a bigger amplification than it would be if not for these foreign adversaries, which brings more people into the bullshit. To y'all point.
See, I just don't. I guess that's.
So you didn't think So what did you think about what we just talked about in terms of the facts that they're amplifying this kind of information? That there's all these accounts. Like, what do you? I'm asking. What do you think about what I just read? More so than what I just said.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not understanding the point. Amplifying doesn't mean unreal. So if I bring up that there's a battle between or a tension between
I'm not saying it's not real.
So what's the point? Then what's the point then? If it's not,
it was a side. That's why I didn't understand, because I'm not saying it's not real. All I'm saying is keep in mind there's also there's a level of amplification that's on top of that. That's so all I'm saying. It's like you have what's real. Hold on, this is what I'm saying. You have what's fucking real, and then you also have this outside influences that's making this shit seem bigger than what it is to confuse people, divide people.
Stop. When you say you're making it seem like it's bigger than what it is, that means you're saying it's not real.
Oh, that's not what I mean. You know, I'm a little divergent. So y'all, that is not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is it's important to keep in mind the things I just fucking read, which is we know that there's outside influences that are taking divisive shit, points of tension within the community. Let's because all the points of tension, whatever that point of tension is, right? And exploiting that. We know that's happening. And that's all I'm saying, just to keep in mind that we know that this is a factor in
So
this.
why do
It
you
don't
want us to
take
keep it in
away
mind? Why do you want us to
because
keep it in mind?
listen, because Bree just said, I'm worn out. A lot of us are worn out from the shit online. It's just important to keep in mind that some of the shit,
I'm not worn out by bot accounts though.
all I'm saying is it's important to keep in mind that this is an intentional strategy to try to fuck us over. That's all I'm saying. And
I
so
think
it results in real bullshit. It results in more black men being on fuck shit.
I
It
think you
results in
get
more cis women who are black being like,
I think you
I'm thinking
giving
about trans women versus these women.
I think you giving bots and foreign interference in social media too
We
much
just
credit.
read the thing that said black people the number one target of Russia.
It's
I
not
heard
that
what
they're.
you.
It's not that
It's
they're.
not just bots and
It's not
trolls,
that
and
we don't. It's not that we don't believe you. I think a much bigger influence on Black society in social media culture are Black owned blogs. I don't think you bringing that point up again. I think it's a mute point.
I agree.
Like okay, that's the truth. You know, eggs really do cost $3.59. But what about this? But what about the question I asked? You know what I mean? Like it. You know, we in many cases it brings me back to the fact that we're our own enemy. The only reason they can divide us is because there's division to start with. The only reason they can amplify words and voices is because the shit was spoken already.
Yes, and that's what they're exploiting. That's all I'm saying. That
We
they're
know
also,
that. But
yeah. That's all I'm
the point
saying.
I'm trying to make is that we know that our government was
But
exploiting us
not
before. So
everybody know. But
our
y'all
government
two
was.
know that, but not all of our listeners know. I'm not saying it to you. I'm not saying it to you. It's for our listeners to
I'm just
repeat that shit in mind because not everybody knows that.
ultimately, I don't
That's
think it's
all.
as big a deal as you make it.
I mean, we
And
talked about it, but
you bringing it up every other subject, I think is giving people the impression that it's a bigger thing than it is. Yes, people that fall for dummy accounts and you know bot
it's not just
accounts
dummy. Yeah.
Fell for it
and
with
stuff.
there's people who fell for it with COINTELPRO. It's
Yeah,
people who fell for it with some of the bullshit that was in the Jet magazine.
yeah.
Some of those
But
talking points
what's
was in there, was in the Ebony. There's going to be people who fall for it, but and there's going to be things that when TV came to
so
the
y'all
world.
thought the real black women versus trans women thing was as big as it seemed on the internet?
Listen, Jay, as a black woman, I know you, as a black trans woman, I
Right,
know
right.
you have been a woman in the past, a girl, but as a black trans woman, that is constant in my life
It's
with
a big
women,
fucking deal.
Right, but I'm saying, well,
And to blame it on
hold on.
Russian bots makes it feel
All
like it minimizes our
here's my
experience.
question. Here's my question. Why wasn't this a big deal 10 years ago on
it
taking as much
was.
space?
I was
But
doing content about
hold
it.
on. Hold on. Why wasn't it taking as much space in mainstream media then as it has taken on within the last 10 years? Or 20
Because
years ago, even?
for several reasons, but social media again, more people having access to phones, more trans people having access to phones. These are factors as well, Jay. And the only point I think we're both trying to make is that it's like this is common sense, and it needs to be common sense for our audience. If you don't already fucking know that the media is manipulative, then why the fuck are you here listening to us? We sure have to tell you that the media is manipulative every fucking subject because we would spend every subject talking about the media being manipulative. What the fuck else are we going to talk about? What's the solution?
That was not even, but I'm saying
What's the crux of the
that was not
problem?
my, look, that was not my topic. Anytime, anything that's, anyway, that was not the point of my fucking topic last week. And then we started talking about this because that's, y'all were like, we're going to stay on this. That was not even my topic. I was just I was just making a fucking comment. And all I'm saying is tensions within communities that we know exist. It don't got to be just black folks, queer folks, trans folks, but whatever, are being exploited on the fucking internet by outside adversaries because our communities are under attack.
But Jay, this is
and it's just something to keep in mind. That's all.
we got
Because that's all.
No, we gotta be
That's
real. We
it.
gotta be real. Wait. We gotta be real. The reason why you brought this up this week is because of the discrepancy last week. And the reason why the discrepancy happened was we were talking about how black men shield themselves from accountability and racism.
Right. And I don't disagree with that at all.
But when you
that's what I'm just saying. Like,
when you say you don't disagree, but your addition to the topic is you got to consider what the bots is, the algorithm.
No,
it may not be. It may be amplifying it bigger than what it is. It illegitimizes what the point that we're trying to make.
Gotcha.
It makes it seem
in the exact way that you said it, because you've even admitted to literally saying that topics haven't been real in the past. You've literally said that.
I mean, that's not. Yeah, no, I apologize for saying that. Also, y'all know I was a little unintentionally under the influence with my health, so my brain wasn't 100. But that's not. But
this ain't the first time that this happened.
No, I know, but I also sound a little bit more clear now because I'm not living somewhere where I'm being exposed to shit, and I'm not clear-headed. So
it's not that we don't, so we don't have to be on this or not. It's not that we don't know the effects of algorithm and the amplification. It's just that when we talk about certain things, it is to educate people on why this is bullshit, why this is whack, why this is problematic, why it is not okay for you to skirt accountability. And I know you don't think it's okay to use racism to skirt accountability. I know that.
Right.
But I don't want somebody to think that it is unreal or small.
Right. That's not what I'm saying. Right.
Just because the algorithm is bullshit.
No.
There are real men
No.
who will, because they're fucking misogynists in the real world, they will, no matter what you do, they're gonna think that no matter what P. Diddy did, no matter what R. Kelly did, no matter what Bill Cosby did, no matter what Tyler Perry did, no matter what Donnie McClurkin did, that was the kind of they're going to think, oh, they're trying to take a good black man down.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
Because they're a fucking misogynist and they're not even looking at the real actions of these people because they're too invested in the black excellence of the black man.
Right.
And not invested of the harm that they could be doing in our community. And it's not about the algorithm amplifying it. It's about this is actually truth, what people believe, and this is how misogyny works. And yes, you have to be conscious of the algorithm. You have to be conscious of amplification and what's bullshit, what's not bullshit. Yes, but that doesn't mean that their niggas ain't out here on that bullshit.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, we just read about how this manosphere thing is a part of that has been kind of pumped up by outside money and outside bots and the whole concept of it, because it didn't fucking exist before. Not just because the social media has changed and people got phones, but because there is this factor of outside influence that wants that to be pushed on to people and to continue to push that into people's faces, which gets more people on fuck shit. Right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying when we getting, to protect your wellness, because it's like this shit is out here, but some of this is intentional from folks that don't even fuck with us, and they're encouraging that shit in our communities, and it's bullshit.
I think that always.
That's all I'm saying.
And I think my rebuttal to that, not against it, but my rebuttal to it is that some version of that always exists.
Yeah,
there's somebody funding the manosphere. Even before this, there was MGTOW. There were people who were giving money so the dude his name was Sandman. This is in 08, 09. There was even like Rush Limbaugh. There's somebody funding the.
I'm not talking about no white people. I'm talking about black people.
I'm just giving
specifically though. That's what I'm saying though. Specifically, black voices. That's all I'm talking about with this. Is that the within the black community we have been infiltrated in it to propagate bullshit even more so than it already fucking exists, and we already know that's a thing. So we're on that's all I'm saying is that all of our communities, all marginalized communities haven't been infiltrated to fucking blow up even more than the shit already actually exists. Shit that's divisive and shit that is a tension point to pull those communities apart. It don't mean that shit ain't there, that it don't exist, but the truth of the fucking matter is both fucking things are true. And so just keep that shit in mind. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They don't take away the fact that folks don't fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee you this. Mark my fucking word. Before the end of the year, it's gonna be some trans people versus other trans people shit that's gonna blow the fuck up on the internet, and it's gonna be propagated and pushed out there by these fucking accounts in a way, because it kind of died down. The trans versus non-binary thing, that's just gonna kick back up when we get closer to the fucking election in November. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And when I said that shit at the start of the year, after Orange Dude got elected again, it's gonna be a lot of more shit. So just keep that shit in mind. They're going to try to flood the zone with bullshit. So we're like apathetic and overwhelmed. That's all. That's all I'm. That's all I'm referencing and shit. But anyway, any last things about that in terms of for the audience? Any more last comments on that? Well, let us know, shit, what you think. What you think about this? You know what I'm saying? How are you navigating the nuance of the reality of fuck shit versus, the extra boost that is getting from these outside agitators? Hit us up, hashtag Marsha's Plate. Bree, break it down for us.
Honey, hashtag MARSHASPLACE.
Period.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme it's a feeling and a high you never come down from. Whoa.
So, all right. So, what is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
I'm gonna go. Their last topic is bringing me euphoria because I'm glad we got to talk about it more. And I'm picking up what you're putting down, Bree. So that's bringing me some euphoria. And I'm still with my fam, around my sister, my nephew. So that's bringing me euphoria. Eating good food. All right. What about you, Bree?
Well, my family came to visit. Well, to be specific, my granny, my aunt, and my little cousin, who's more like a niece. They came to visit me the other day. They came to make sure that I had groceries and I was ready for
Okay.
for the snowing and all that. And we did already have food and stuff. So I just ended up hanging out with them and we went out to eat and did a little light shopping. But it was good to spend time with them. So I'm still feeling the euphoria of that. Also, my content room is giving me euphoria. As y'all see, I'm in front of. If you can see me, I'm in front of the green screen tonight.
Okay.
I'm in front of the green screen today because this is the only angle that doesn't look crazy, honey. Jay, since the last time you've been here, I've gotten more Legos and more clothes. So it looks really nuts in here right now.
Wow.
But it's bringing
Wow.
me joy because I'm going through my stuff. This is the first time in a long time that I've been able to actually go through all of my shit and it not be some of it not be stored away in storage and all of that. So yeah, I'm enjoying um my content room, the materialism of it all. And and family, honey. Yeah, I got some. I'm excited to finally get my wardrobe together so that I can be giving y'all some looks for the people who watch us. But what's giving you euphoria, Diamond?
It's three things. So, of course, creating change. I had a really good time despite being stuck in the snow and like literally this one time when the snow was out there, like all the creating change people went out there and had a snowball fight. It was just fun.
Oh,
Just some cute
that's
joy
cute.
and shit that was happening that was so cute. amazing conversations. Anybody who been to a conference, I don't want to say anybody, but the good shit happen when you chilling in the lobby or chilling at the bar or chilling at the restaurant or hotel. It's the
Right.
good
That's the real
conversation. It's
combos.
the fun
Right.
conversation. You get to chit chat and fellowship with people. That's the better time. Late at night, y'all, folks done came and smoked. Folks you guys got the videos. You know, ordered your Uber. That's my favorite time of conferences, and so this did not disappoint. I had an amazing time with the people who I was hanging with. And so yeah, just to see the joy of the community, even though the stresses is happening and da 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 da, it still was some cute ass moments. And then to see the young queer people kind of running around sometimes it's their first time coming to creating change.
Yeah.
It just was dope. So that brought me euphoria. Also, one of my favorite scents got discontinued, so I haven't been able to find it until now. And this is Tom Ford Soleil Brûlante. They
Okay.
don't make it anymore. But sometimes, because I'm obsessive, I'll just like search on eBay, see if somebody has it and don't. Da 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 da. So they had a brand new bottle, and I bought it, and it was super super cheap, and I love it. So that brought me euphoria. And the last thing is being at fucking home. I hate the cold. I hate cold. I hate the snow. I don't want to be in the snow. I don't want to be in the cold. I don't like it. And so I am at home in my warm, and it's kind of cold here too, but not cold as up there. But my apartment, and I can be in my bed, and I can just, I love it. So being at home in the warmth of Texas.
Okay. You said up there, still below the Mason-Dixon line in DC.
Well, that's that's north to me.
Honey, we the North. They just played with us and made us a slave state.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, let us know. Let us know what is bringing y'all euphoria this week, and we will see y'all next week.
All right, we love y'all.
Deuces,
y'all.
hasta luego.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We will be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's diamondstylz@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright.